Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. Today I'm reviewing two brand new products from Gyeon. The first one is the Gyeon Iron Wheel Cleaner Redefined, and the second one is the Gyeon Iron Redefined. So what is the difference between both products? You're going to find out by watching this video, but quick spoiler alert. If my 2024 Car Detailing Products Awards video was to happen today, this product here, the Gyeon Iron Redefined, would take the best iron remover of the year. Why is that? Well, you're going to have to find out by watching the entire video from beginning to end, because there's some pretty cool stuff that they did with the chemistry. So by the way, quick disclaimer, this is a sponsored video, so I want to thank Gyeon for sponsoring this video and making all of this possible. And also, I'll include the links to all the tools, products, and equipment in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So I'm going to be talking about the chemistry of both of these products, what makes them cool. Also, you're going to be seeing both of them in a demo, which I think is always very important. So let's dig right into the discussion. Let's first start with the Gyeon Iron Wheel Cleaner Redefined. What is so cool about this? Before we talk about the chemistry, I want to tell you that these are available in 3 sizes for both products. So 16.9 ounces or 500 milliliters for this bottle. You also get this one here, it's bigger brother. So this is the 33.8 ounces or 1000 milliliters, basically 1 liter. So you can see the difference in size here between both products. And you also get a 4 liter option. So depending on what your budget is and what your needs are, you can grab all of those. Also, for both the Gyeon Iron Wheel Cleaner Redefined and the Gyeon Iron Redefined, I want to make sure that you guys understand that you do not work with these products in direct sunlight. And also you work in the shade, always on a cool surface, and never let these products dry on the surface. Anytime you work with iron removing capabilities, you want to make sure to follow those important guidelines. So now, first of all, look at this bottle. These are the new bottles and labels that Gyeon unveiled for their 2024 lineup. So better labels, even more chemical resistant, crazy bottles, crazy packaging. Gyeon are known for their amazing packaging. And if you look at this, look how beautiful this is. So the Iron Wheel Cleaner Redefined is a strong and effective dedicated wheel cleaner. You're going to tell me, Pan, well, can't I use the regular iron to clean the wheels? So that's one common mistake I often see. So people use typically iron removers sometimes as wheel cleaners. That is not the purpose of iron removers. They're only made to remove brake dust and rail dust, basically iron particles from your wheels or your paint. They're not made to do some cleaning action. So there's other chemistry inside of a dedicated wheel cleaner, like surfactants that remove dirt, grime, and other kinds of dirt and contamination compared to just an iron remover. So if you want to clean your wheels first with a dedicated wheel and tire cleaner and then use the iron remover, that is totally fine. But just note that if you want an all-in-one solution that cleans and removes iron from your wheels, well, this is the case with this one. Now, Redefined, what they did is they updated the formulas on their products and they made them even higher performing. So those are the Redefined versions. The Iron Wheel Cleaner, by the way, has a bit of the technology of the iron that we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. And so this one, what is the difference? First of all, the instructions are always very clear. So you're going to want to work on a cool surface and you're going to let this dwell for 2 to 4 minutes max, right? It's going to be still very gentle on any kind of wheel surfaces, so you don't have to worry about it. Both products are still technically pH neutral. They're only becoming slightly acidic when they react on the surface due to the exothermic reaction, right? But they're safe on all wheel finishes, whether they're coated or not. So that's one cool thing about the Iron Wheel Cleaner, by the way. It has a revised smell as well. So it still has a bit of that rotten egg scent with this one, but not as much as we're used to. So they did a good job to knock down the scent a lot with this one. Another important thing that they did with this revised formula is it has a gel-like consistency. Why? So you have a better clinging on the surface due to that higher viscosity, so more dwell time on the surface, and you're still getting stronger overall reaction because it reacts a lot quicker. Now, let's do a demo. First of all, I used my brother's vehicle, a Mazda CX-5. So he had been on a road trip with his friends, drove many hours and miles to get to a camping site, a remote camping site actually, and he hadn't cleaned his car in a few weeks. So the wheels were almost matte because they were that dirty. So we sprayed this product on the surface because I also wanted to see how it can act as a touchless kind of solution. So we sprayed it on, it immediately started reacting so that kind of red-purple tint, right? The chemistry or the reaction that's happening on the surface. So that is a visual indicator that it's reacting with the iron particles, the brake dust, the rail dust, again, all those ferrous materials on there, and it was quick to react. So we basically sprayed the wheel down with water. We were working outside, but again, not in direct sunlight, and of course on a cool surface. So don't do this if you just came back driving the vehicle, right? You want to make sure you're putting this on a cool surface. And when we rinsed down, I noticed that there was almost no dirt left on the surface, even in the wheel barrels. So that was quite impressive, the cleaning power of the Gyeon Iron Wheel Cleaner Redefined. So not that I necessarily recommend to use this as a touchless method, because for 100% clean, you're still going to want to agitate with your wheel mitts and your wheel brushes, especially if it's caked in a thick layer of dirt and mud. You want to first pre-rinse those and then spray the product, and then use your mitt and your brushes to agitate on the surface. That's how you're going to get the best cleaning results. But if you're in a pinch, or if the wheels aren't too bad, like was this case, right? They weren't covered in a thick layer of mud. Well, we were able to spray this on, let it dwell, and then rinse off, and they were fairly clean. So that was quite impressive. Now, the next demo we had was on a Toyota Highlander that my customer purchased a few weeks ago at this point, but it's a 2018 used vehicle, high mileage, over 100,000 miles at this point, was never properly detailed, and even through the dealership, as you guys know, if you follow my vehicles, they never fully properly prep or decontaminate a vehicle. So the paint wasn't looking white anymore. It had kind of a yellowish tint, and that's coming from the accumulated road film and road grime that builds up on the surface that pH neutral car shampoos simply can't fully remove over time. So that buildup really shows, and it kind of gives a disgusting hue to the paint. So I knew I had to tackle that. And before he also went on a vacation with a vehicle with his family, he wanted to start by at least a full clean and decon job, and then perhaps some light protection, and move on to a full ceramic coating later on when he establishes his budget and his needs. So we're going to discuss about that in future videos. But today's goal was to at least fully clean and decontaminate the vehicle and kind of restore the original color and finish of the paintwork, right? I knew it was fully contaminated because the wheels were caked in brake dust, but also the paintwork had a lot of those light orange specks. So that's the kind of brake dust that starts to rust and oxidize over time on the surface. So I knew it was time to decontaminate. So first order of business, well, of course, it's the wheels and tires. I always start with that. So I used the Gyeon Iron Wheel Cleaner Redefined that I sprayed on the wheel surfaces, and it immediately started to react. Again, that red purple tint that is classic. That was a chrome-like finish. I think it was a plastic kind of wheel cover on there because it started peeling on a few wheels before that. Obviously, it was already peeling when the customer brought the vehicle. But I digress. So sprayed this on, it immediately started to react, and I could tell that red purple tint, and due to that higher viscosity, that longer cling time because of that gel consistency, well, it's easy to spray on. You let that dwell 2 to 4 minutes, and the reaction again was very, very strong and almost instantaneous, and it did a quick job. And then we rinsed away after cleaning with the brushes and the mitts and all that kind of stuff. So the wheel now was fully clean. And a quick pro tip that I have: when you clean your wheels and tires, when you're done with that, while they're still wet and rinsed off, use something like Gyeon WetCoat, one of my favorite spray-on rinse-off sealants, because it is so easy to apply. So while the wheel is wet, you spray on the surface, you don't let it dwell, you immediately rinse off with your pressure washer or garden hose, even in the wheel barrel, and it's going to give you some hydrophobic protection that lasts typically 1 to 3 months. It's going to give you a bit of gloss, a bit of slickness, but also give you self-cleaning properties, making the wheels much easier to clean during your maintenance washes. So great topper if you have coated wheels, but even if you don't have any protection on your wheels, use this kind of stuff. Gyeon WetCoat, I have a full review on my channel. You can apply this on all the exterior surfaces, your plastics, your paint, your wheels, even your glass, and it just makes applying a little light protectant a lot easier because of that spray-on, rinse-off type formula. Next, we're going to talk about the star of the show, Gyeon Iron Redefined. Again, I stated that this would likely take first place for the best iron remover of the year in my 2024 Car Detailing Products Awards if it was to happen today. And why is that? Well, we're going to talk about it. First of all, again, crazy packaging, those improved labels, great marketing on there, fantastic, great bottles. Once again, the Gyeon trigger, this updated trigger. So not only do they have their G logo here in the back, but the trigger is very ergonomic, even for big hands like me, perfect for the hands. And once again, the instructions are always super clear. So you're gonna spray this on, let it dwell for 2 to 4 minutes, then rinse off. But the difference with the iron remover when you're using it for paint is I always recommend washing the vehicle first. So what we did in this case was to use Gyeon Bathe, so very high lubricity with this one. You only need 20 to 30 mils in your 4 to 5 gallon bucket. So great suds. And great 30 mils, by the way, is roughly 1 ounce. So 1 ounce in your wash bucket and you're good to go. You can also use this in your foam cannon if you want, but this is mainly used for the bucket wash. So pH neutral car shampoo, fantastic scent. It just works well. So why you want to get the vehicle clean before you use the iron remover on paint is you don't want to have the iron remover having to fight through the other dirt and grime that this is not designed to remove. Keep in mind, this is only made to remove ferrous materials, your iron particles from your brake dust or rail dust or industrial fallout, right? So clean your vehicle first. That's how this is going to be even more effective. So we cleaned the vehicle, we washed it top down, and then we fully rinsed. Now you have the option to use the iron remover either on a wet surface if you want, or in this case, because it was never decontaminated, I didn't want to dilute this on the surface. I wanted the most performance. So I quickly dried the vehicle using the Gyeon Silk Dryer microfiber drying towel. So it doesn't have to be 100% bone dry, but you get the gist of it. Just remove the majority of the water and you're gonna have better performance from your iron remover if it hasn't been done in a while. So with this product, same thing. They reworked the entire formula for the Redefined version. The previous iron was the same formula for roughly a decade at this point. So they decided to redo the entire thing. So the biggest change that they have, which I'm happy to announce, is the banana candy scent. Yes, they fully removed the rotten egg scent. It's barely there, you can barely tell, and it's replaced by this amazing banana scent. I don't know how they did that, but kudos to their team. I was part of the end of the development for the final stages of this in late 2023 before they did the unveiling at the Gyeon show in New York, which you can see, by the way, on my channel. Fantastic video. And so their chemists did a fantastic job with this. So the scent, again, banana candy, and I work in a garage most often, and this did not overwhelm with that rotten egg scent. It had that pleasant banana candy, so killer. Now there are other products in the past year that started to have this kind of different scent. Some have fully removed it, some a little less, but the problem with those were either the performance wasn't there for the product itself, or it was sometimes staining concrete, right? There was infamous issues with a few of them. But this has none of those caveats. So the performance is still there with the Gyeon Iron Redefined. Actually, they reworked the formula entirely. It's still pH neutral, so safe on pretty much all your exterior surfaces, but it has higher viscosity for better cling time and more even distribution. And it has a more immediate action. As soon as you start spraying on the surface, you're gonna start seeing that color change to that purple-red tint for the chemical reaction. So even stronger than before for the chemistry. So it works even better and quicker, yet still safe on all your surfaces. So they didn't change that. You don't have to worry as long, again, as you're not working in direct sunlight and you're not letting the product dwell on the surface and you're working on cool surfaces. So this one too, by the way, you can have it in a 500 milliliter capacity or 16.9 ounces, or you can have it in 33.8 ounces or 1,000 milliliters or 1 liter capacity. Again, you can see the difference here. And they're also available in a 4 liter size. So for your needs, you can get everything you want. By the way, Gyeon states that typically with a 500 ml bottle, you're going to use about 150 mils for a typical average size vehicle. So you get a little more than 3 uses or 3 vehicles out of this. So a little goes a long way. Of course, it depends on the size of the vehicle and how much you're applying. People sometimes over apply. They just douse the entire surface. You want to get proper and even coverage. Now, one trick I did with this to increase its efficiency is when I was done spraying on the surface, so the vehicle was fully washed once again, right? Rinsed and then we dried. We applied this liberally on the surface, so top to bottom, even including the glass, it doesn't matter, that's totally safe on there. And we let it react, and you can tell on screen the chemical reaction was insane. The entire surface, pretty much every square inch, was covered in brake dust, rail dust, and just ferrous contamination. As you can see, due to that red or purple tint bleeding, as we call it, on the surface. So I knew that, yeah, this probably had never been done before on the vehicle. So it was just covered in this stuff, again, from top to bottom. So we knew there was a lot of contamination, which over time, those rust spots will continue rusting, oxidizing, oxidizing and they can create further damage as they're digging deeper into your clear coat, right? So you want to address that. Typically, I recommend using an iron remover at least once every 3 to 4 months, or more often depending on your level of brake dust or iron contamination on the surface. And this is also a great maintenance product for your ceramic coated vehicles. If you have a ceramic coating on your car, it's actually recommended to use an iron remover again every 2, 3, or 4 months to make sure that you keep your coating free of embedded iron contamination and working tip-top shape. And so another pro tip that I have for you guys, if you want to increase the efficiency, once you sprayed it on the vehicle, you can use a microfiber wash mitt and lightly agitate on the surface, because don't forget, the vehicle is already cleaned at this point. So the iron remover is applied on a clean surface, and you're going to agitate with the microfiber wash mitt. This is going to make sure you distribute all the product everywhere in case you missed a spot, and it's going to increase the kind of mechanical agitation as well. It's going to help to loosen up any leftover road film or traffic film as well that I noticed. So this helps to restore that white color, or that original color on white vehicles, because of the traffic film that contaminates the surface, gives that yellow tint right on the car. And as you're going to see at the end result, this really did a great job at kind of restoring that original finish. So regardless of what color your vehicle is, this really also helps when you agitate it on the surface to kind of remove or break down a bit of that road film and traffic film as well, and just kind of make that color pop once again. So fully rinsed away, and now the vehicle was fully decontaminated at this point. So another quick pro tip with the iron remover, this one here has enough lubrication in it that you can combine it with the clay stage if you want to do both the chemical decontamination and the mechanical decontamination with a clay media together if you want to save some time. So you would spray this on the, well, in this case, I used a clay towel. So you have to use a clay media that is chemical resistant. That is very important. You don't want to use this with a old school traditional clay bar that is not chemical resistant, because you're just going to chew through the material and it's not made for that. So chemical resistant clay material, you're going to spray this on the clay material, 1 or 2 sprays on the surface. You apply the clay media on the part where you sprayed it on the surface, and then you rub up and down, left and right, basically do a traditional clay job, and you're going to do 2 actions in 1. So iron removing capabilities and also mechanical decontamination for the rest of the embedded contamination, 2 steps in 1. That is pretty awesome. Once you're done, once again, just rinse away. And now I knew the vehicle was fully decontaminated. Now, while it was still wet and fully decontaminated and clean right after that final rinse, before I dried the vehicle, because we weren't sure yet what type of future protection we'd apply, I still wanted him to have some basic protection, at least for 1 or 3 months, until he decides what he's going to do. And also for the road trip, to milk self-cleaning properties, make the vehicle easier to wash, and give that boost of gloss and slickness, and just make it pop a little more. So I applied Gyeon WetCoat, once again, spray on, rinse off, paint sealant. So you spray on the surface, you immediately rinse off, and it's going to give you nice tight, round, water beating, great hydrophobic properties, pretty awesome to see on the surface. So you get that protection, you get that gloss, you get that slickness, and it's going to make the vehicle, again, easier to wash during future maintenance washes. But it also makes the vehicle much quicker to dry. So whether you're using a microfiber drying towel to dry the vehicle, or you're using a leaf blower or car dryer like I did in this case, water just flies off the panels now due to those hydrophobic properties, and you're going to dry the vehicle in a breeze in no time. So guys, the performance is insane. Let me do a quick recap of each. So this one here, the Gyeon Iron Wheel Cleaner, is a dedicated wheel cleaner that is strong yet effective and safe on all your wheel finishes. It has a revised smell with a lot less of that rotten egg scent, better cling on the surface due to higher viscosity, so it has a gel-like consistency, and again, stronger overall performance on the surface and quicker to react, although it's safe, so no issues there. Again, as long as you do not work in direct sunlight, work on a cool surface, and do not let the products dry on the surface. And the star of the show, once again, the Gyeon Iron Redefined. So completely new formulation from the ground up, still pH neutral, higher viscosity for better cling time and more even distribution, more immediate action, stronger overall action, yet still safe on most of your exterior surfaces. You can use this again on your wheels, on paint, on glass, on pretty much everything. Don't worry about it. But the biggest thing is that banana candy scent. I can't say it enough. If you guys try these, by the way, drop comments in the comment section. The Iron Remover Redefined from Gyeon, how much you like that scent. They knocked it out of the park. So almost none of that iron, disgusting rotten egg scent, but more of that pleasant banana candy. Again, I don't know how they did that, but kudos to their chemical engineers. I think they did a great job with this, and the performance is absolutely crazy. So best iron remover of the year. You got to check this out. Again, I'll make sure to include the links in the description under the video for you guys to check all of these out. Both the iron wheel cleaner and the iron remover are available in 500 milliliter sizes, in 1000 milliliter sizes, and 4000 milliliter sizes. So regardless of what your needs are, they have you covered. And of course, the other fantastic products from the Gyeon lineup. I have a bunch of videos on my channel. You just have to type Gyeon Pan the Organizer in the YouTube search bar, and you're going to see all my reviews of this brand. I always called them a top tier detailing brand because they are among the best detailing products out there, as you guys know if you have tried them. So they're really worthwhile. And again, I want to thank Gyeon for sponsoring this video and making all of this possible. You guys rock. Thumbs up. I can't wait to see what else Gyeon comes up with in the future. So guys, if you've tried any of these products, again, I want to know your feedback as well for real world testing, and how my viewers and audience appreciates the products and what kind of feedback you have. And it's thanks to your feedback that these brands also keep to innovate and continue to improve on their products. So in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you all on the next one.